Welcome back to Let's Talk channel with Josie. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I truly appreciate all of you. I will be making egusi soup with catfish and farina. Pour small amount of oil inside your pot. Make sure you turn it to medium heat. You see, just small amount of oil, like 1/4 of a cup oil. Now you put 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste inside the hot oil. Then you mix it together. Mix the tomato paste together inside the oil. Make sure they all mix together. Mix it together very nicely. You see how the color starts turning a little bit golden. Wait until it turns a little bit golden. Mix it nicely together, the tomato and the sauce. Now you pour 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Add 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon to the tomato sauce and the oil, and then mix it together nicely. Let them blend together. And you will see that the color of your stew is starting turning golden. Now add half teaspoon of grounded hot pepper. Half teaspoon of grounded hot pepper. Add them to the sauce. Mix it together. Mix it nicely. Make sure they blend it together as the color turns a little bit golden. Then cover it for about 2 minutes. Let it cool for 2 minutes. And stir the soup occasionally. Stir the soup. The reason of this is to make sure that the tomato and the rest of the ingredients are well cooked. Now here's the fish. Here's the catfish. Make sure you rinse your catfish very well. Wash the catfish. Make sure you wash it too, so that all the slime or whatever that's outside the skin will all be off. Wash it nicely and rinse it with warm water. Now you transfer your fish inside the sauce. Transfer all your catfish inside the sauce, inside the pan, or your pot. Make sure your heat is set to medium. Now transfer all the fish inside the pot. You see how nice the fish looks? You see how nice and clean? That's the catfish. Transfer all the catfish into the pan or into the pot and cover it up. And let it steam for about 2 to 3 more minutes. And then you pour 2 cups of water, clean water. Pour 2 cups of clean water inside the sauce and gently shake it. Do you see how the stew turned a little golden? Then you move the fish around. You don't want to stir it so the fish don't crumble inside the pot. Move the fish around to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. There you go. You move the fish around. Do you see the beautiful color of your stew? Then you cover it up for another 2 to 3 minutes. Now you pour your 1 teaspoon of crumbled bitter leaves. That is bitter leaves, brought away from Africa. That's bitter leaf. Add 1 teaspoon crumbled dried bitter leaf to the pot and gently move the fish around in order to make sure that all the ingredients are mixed together. Okay, 1 teaspoon bitter leaf you add to the sauce and let it cook. Let it cook for maybe another 5 minutes. See how nicely that fish looks? It looks delicious already. Then you cover it. Let it cook for another like 5 minutes. Do you see the difference now? Everything is cooking nicely together. Yes. Occasionally move the fish around in the pot. Don't stir it, just move the fish around a little bit so that the fish don't crumble inside the pot. There you go. You can taste it to make sure it's, tastes good. Move the fish around in the pot. Let it cook. There you go. So you move the fish around and you can see the color nicely coming out. So now everything is cooking together. Everything is mixing together. How beautiful. It looks yummy, yummy already. Very tasty. Then you cover it for another 2 minutes. And now this is your egusi. This is the egusi. Yes, that's the egusi. About 1 cup of egusi. 1 cup of grounded egusi inside the bowl. That's about 1 cup grounded egusi. Now you will slowly spread your egusi over the stew, over the soup, whatever you want to call it. Slowly spread your egusi. You see the egusi on top of the fish and inside the soup. And slowly move, don't stir, slowly move the fish around to make sure that the egusi is properly spread inside the soup now. Slowly move it around. If you need a little bit more salt, you can add a little salt or bouillon as you wish, as long as it's up to your taste. See, now the egusi and the soup and the fish and the bitter leaf all together, all cooking together. Slowly move the fish around so it does not crumble inside your soup. There you go. Slowly move the fish around. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It looks good already. Oh, I'm nice. I'm hungry. Yes. See the soup? See how it's cooking beautifully? There you go. Isn't that beautiful? It's cooking nicely. Let your soup cook evenly with the fish and the egusi. Let it cook. See? You see the heat? You see how your soup is bubbling? That means it's cooking properly. You see? There you go. That's how your egusi soup will look like. You make it properly. There you go. Beautiful. Then you cover it. And let it cook for another 2 minutes. Then if you need more water, you can add like half cup more water. It depends on how consistent you want your fish, your soup, I mean. It depends on how you want it. Then you shake it a little bit so that the fish don't crumble. That's the reason why we just shake it a little bit instead of stirring it. Shake your fish. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And you let it cook. Cover up and let it cook. Cover it up and let it cook. Let it cook for about another 5 minutes. See, and there your soup is ready to be served. The soup is ready to be served. Beautiful, beautiful. See how bubbling and beautiful it is. Bubbling and beauty. See how beautiful it is? Bubbling and beautiful. Now here's your farina. Here's your farina, and this thing is spoon. That's a calabash spoon, by the way. So here's the water. There's the boiling water to make your farina, and then you slowly pour your farina. Now stir it together after you pour your farina inside the water, boiling water, and then you can pour more. Don't pour too much because you don't want your farina to be hard. You want it to be nice and soft while you're eating it. Now you slowly stir the farina. Stir it, and while you're doing that, try to smash the lump inside the farina. That's why you should not put too much in the first place. So stir. There you go. Stir the farina very nicely. Stir the farina. You can put a little bit more if you want to, not too much. And then you stir it until everything is blended together. Stir your farina. That's how you make it. Stir it and make sure everything is blended together smoothly. Turn it once in a while to clog the so now your farina is done. The farina is done and ready to be served. You see how nice and smooth the farina is? Then you cover the farina and put it aside. Cover the farina so it all can steam together. Now here's your soup. The soup too is done. The farina is done and your soup is done. Now, see how beautiful that soup is. Nice. Delicious. See the color? Not too much oil. Perfect. You don't want to make soup with too much oil. You won't be able to enjoy it. So with this one, this soup, there's not too much oil, just enough. You see how the fish is in the soup and not crumble. Now you cover it. How beautiful that farina is. Yep. All right. Beautiful. Now it's time to serve your food. That is a calabash. Then you take your calabash, scoop your food and put it in a plate. So now you serve your farina. Put your farina in the plate. Serve it. Put your farina in the plate. Alright, you see that? That's your farina. That's the farina. Now it's time to serve the soup. This is the fish, the catfish. Catfish with egusi and bitter leaf. Catfish with egusi and dry bitter leaf. See the color? Nice. So you serve your soup. There you go. Serve it nicely. Catfish, egusi and bitter leaf. Well made. Delicious, huh? Delicious. Delicioso. Delicious. Now here's your, that's your serving, that's your catfish with egusi and bitter leaf. That's the soup. That's the catfish soup. And that's your farina. Some people eat this with spoon, but I prefer to eat it with my hand. So that's your catfish with egusi and bitter leaves and your farina.